an invitation. It's not a dance routine. It doesn't have to look any type of way. It doesn't have to be as fast as I'm going or as slow as I'm going. Is this music giving you guys anxiety? This music's giving me anxiety. I try to play something different than I usually do, and it's like, I feel like I'm like running down a hallway in a like murder mystery. All right, so we're just gonna go back to one of the albums that I already know is Chill. Okay, anyway. So if anybody else has requests or recommendations, requests for body parts or movements that they're working on, expect lots of hip release today already, because I know Kai is sitting a lot. It's a bit turned up. Yeah, okay, yeah, I didn't like it. This is better. This is just happier. Okay. So. We'll probably do some shoulder stuff too, because I imagine you're like hunched over, so none of that. Oi, oi, oi. Cut over here. There we go. Cool. So, oof. That was my sternum. Alright, so we're going to get started here. Coming to a comfortable seated position. This might be in a chair, this might be on the floor. I like sitting cross-legged on the floor. It's called Vrksasana, easy sitting pose, though obviously it's not easy for everyone. Is this light doing a weird thing? Whatever. I'm not like a lighting person. Obviously, it's different every time we come on. Doing the best I can here. Alright, so, So we're finding a comfortable seated position. Hands will come to rest on the knees, either palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy if you feel you've got a little extra to give today. The important part about sitting up tall, you know you're sitting up tall, is heart over hips, head over heart. So for all of us overachievers out there, you might find yourself leaning forward, like leaning in to listen, and you just gotta like take it back a little bit. And there's a bunch of people out there who are probably hunched over, and for that you're gonna pull your shoulders back. It's like there's a string attached to the crown of your head pulling you towards the sky, and your shoulders are just being pulled back to help hold it all in place. And take a moment here to silence your devices. And then eyes can close if that's comfortable for you, or else you can lower your eyes to a soft gaze just beyond your legs. And we'll start with 3 cleansing breaths. Deep breath in through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears. And on an exhale, an audible sigh, shoulders drop away. And allow the breath to continue in and out through the nose if that's available, returning to a natural pace. And we'll take a moment here just to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this moment. Here in this space. Begin to allow sounds into your awareness. Sound of birds just outside the window. Perhaps the sound of passing cars or traffic. allowing all sounds in, all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where the body makes contact with the ground below you. The weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan the body, Anamaya Kosha, from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity, any restlessness or fidgeting. And just taking note to work into those spaces that call out for your attention throughout your movement practice here today. And shifting the awareness from the body up to the energetic level, Pranamaya Kosha. Notice energetically on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are at in this moment. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready for bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. Shifting the attention to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations, exhalations, and whatever space in between. And shifting the awareness up to the mind, Manomaya Kosha. Allowing thoughts and feelings to arise freely. But no need to engage. Watch them from a distance, like an image being projected onto a screen. The storyline continues without our direct participation. Notice what are the quality of the thoughts today. Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. And we'll bring the attention back down to the breath. To begin working on our breathing technique, our pranayama. Equal parts breathing. So first we'll expand the breath. actively inviting more air into the body with every inhale. And every exhale, let something more go. So full belly breathing. Inhaling, the belly expands like a balloon being inflated. Ribs expand as well, leaving space for the diaphragm to drop and the lungs to fully fill. On the exhale, the ribs knit back together and the belly button pulls in towards spine. So we're using some muscle strength here to squeeze out the air in the lungs. Full exchange of breath here. I'm breathing in and out through the nose if that's available. That just preps the air to be more easily accepted by the lungs by adding humidity and warmth to the air. And the jaw is relaxed. Space between top and bottom teeth. Tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. Face is relaxed. We're taking long, deep, slow breaths. Slow your breath down to really get to the full edge of capacity and full emptiness. We'll bring a count to that breath. So your next inhale, beginning to count silently in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on until you get to the very tip top of your inhalation. When you get there, whatever that number ended up being, when there's no space for even a sip of air more, might be 7 or 17, exhale to the same number count. Inhaling for 17, exhaling for 17, or whatever it may be. If the mind wanders, bring it back to the breath, back to your counting, back to the belly expanding and contracting to aid in this practice. You feel yourself speeding up, slow it down, perhaps add a number to your count. And on your next exhale, releasing any counting or effort from the breath, just returning to your natural pace and rhythm. And hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra, thumbs pressed into sternum, no space between the fingers. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. Whatever first comes to mind, or perhaps it's the sankalpa, the heart's desire you've been working with all year. And the idea is just to set this intention in the present, the positive, and the affirmative. So if it's something you're trying to cultivate in yourself, perhaps that's health or healing, or patience, it would sound like I am healing. Right? And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. You're invited to chant with me. First, a cleansing breath. Your hands release to your lap, chin drops towards chest. And then inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Left ear rolls towards left shoulder. Just allowing the head to gently roll side to side. So, prana in Sanskrit loosely translates to energy, or like life force, if you will. And yama is an observance. So pranayam is an observance of the breath. So whenever we do our breathing techniques, pranayam, that's what it's about. It's about cultivating energy and learning how to manage our energy through the vehicle of the breath. Next time the head rolls through center, we'll bring it up to neutral. Begin to roll the shoulders forward. Your eyes can be closed for this if that's comfortable, more comfortable for you, so you can really tune into your upper back, scapula, your shoulder blades here. So what else are we observing here? What else might show up for you is this is a lesson that quite a number of my teachers have brought up, and it's how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when we're sitting in stillness and silence in those breathing techniques in that pranayam, stuff might show up for you that shows up for you in other places in your life. So it might look like impatience, like, oh my God, when is this going to be over? I came here for yoga. I'm stuck here just breathing in and out through my nose. Like, hurry up already. Or it might be impatience with yourself. Like, why can't I get this right? Why is my count only 4? Whose count is 17? That's crazy. Like, why can't I get better? Or other things might show up for you, like literally anything except the breathing technique. Like, you might find yourself incredibly distracted thinking about, what was that sound over there? What am I going to eat for breakfast? We're rolling the shoulders back now, opening up the chest. And you might find yourself just like impossible to concentrate. It feels impossible to concentrate. So there's a couple things that might be showing up for you. Come to stillness in the shoulders and inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, we'll bend over to the right. Left arm reaches over for a side bend. Just need to open up the ribs. The inhale brings us up through center, and exhale to the left. So just like a couple things that might show up for you, things that have shown up for me in the past over years of doing this. And likely it shows up in the rest of your life. You're in my mind. Yeah. So likely it shows up in other places in your life too. So here's my invitation to you. Yoga, meditation, pranayama. It's all an opportunity to practice being a different way, so that in the rest of our lives, when things like really matter and it really counts, we're not just making funny shapes with our bodies. You are in a place where you can concentrate and focus on what's important. And like stop thinking about food and focus. Yeah. Back to center, and then we're gonna twist it to the right. Left hand lands on the right knee, right hand lands on the ground behind you, chest opens to the side wall. Back up through center, and twist to the left. So on the note of food, it's generally accepted and encouraged not to eat about like 3 hours before class, 2 or 3 hours before class. I'm not saying that so that you can like use it as an excuse to not show up because you're like, oh, I ate so I can't come in. I'm just saying recommended is not to eat before class and be hungry rather than be full, because that could really like, I mean, good luck eating Chipotle and coming to yoga class. It's not gonna feel so hot, you know. Because hunger is something that we're gonna have to work with in our day-to-day, and that's not avoidable. Like where there's gonna be days that we're hungry and we still need to get work done instead. So here you just get to practice even though your belly's rumbling. All right, back through center, elbows bend. We'll wave out the hands. Palms come down, fingers wiggle. So here we're undoing all that texting and typing, and for me, drawing, and what's it called? All you ceramists out there. You know, and I'm like, when I'm saying all of these things, like what might be happening in your head, like I'm not picking on you, I'm not making fun of you. The only reason I can even come up with those things is because that's stuff that's shown up for me as well. So I do have compassion for it, and also I'm here like to be like, hey, we can work past this together. All right, palms flip up, and my fingers are pressing back. I'm gonna bit of rotate here. So it's not about like getting better or like, I don't know, evolving past that or anything. It's more like training. Like you can think of it like we're here training the breath so that we can, and the body, and the mind, so we can flow through life with a bit more ease and grace, and just shake off water nice and gentle. Dun, 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 dun. I want to do neck stuff, but I want to do legs first. My legs are like really restless. So let's just bring the legs out in front. Oh, take a sip out of tea. Spread and scrunch the toes. Excuse me. Roll out the ankles. Guys. Try not to inhale your tea. Roll the ankles out the other way. We're just waking up the lower legs here. Bend in the knees, feet come flat. We'll just drop the knees side to side, beginning to wake up the hips. All right, my legs are like a little bit less restless. Let's work on some neck resiliency. I don't want to skip this for myself or for you guys, so getting back to it, just coming to a comfortable seat. You can also, Kai, don't do this with your foot, sorry, but come into kneeling with the toes tucked under and sit back on the heels for this next movement. Do it like this. This is going to give your feet a nice stretch out. And if you were in class yesterday, It's gonna be a nice little progression from like your feet might be sore from like all the like myofascial release we did. So this is gonna be a nice like counter to that, but it's totally optional. Okay. Otherwise, we're just sitting. Shoulders relaxed. Chin tucks down towards chest. It reaches down. We're leading with the nose actually here. It comes forward, up, back. Chin tucks back down towards chest. So we're going to the very edges of our range of motion. Slow and smooth, and we're breathing the whole time, no holding the breath. So we're opening up new spaces in the cervical spine, in the neck, smoothing out any kinks or clicks. And then we'll change directions. I'm so stiff. It is stupid. Yes, so we've been working on this next step a while, and it's one of the things that people will most message me about and be like, why can I do triangle pose and tree pose, but I can't do the neck thing? And it's just if you're someone who carries tension in your neck, I'm one of those people. This is gonna be this can be very frustrating. But there's nowhere to be, nowhere to go. Like, I've been working on this next stuff for, let's see, my friend Rome taught me a year ago, back in March. So that's why my neck is way more open than it was before, because before it was like not. So, all right, so now the opposite is chin tucks down towards chest. It pulls in and up to the sky. We're leading with the chin. It goes all the way forward, down, back in. So it's the little, quote unquote, seemingly simple stuff that can be the most frustrating because we feel like we should, quote unquote, should be able to do it. It's not like the big flashy stuff. It's not like 8-limb pose and, you know, dancer. That is frustrating. It's like, well, that stuff's really flashy and crazy looking. Of course I can't do that. Flying pigeon and all that jazz. No, it's the little things like this that you're like, why? You know, and just notice that internal voice of like feeling like you quote unquote should be able to do something. Like, why? Like, why should you be able to if you've never really asked your body to do it before? And it's just about building a relationship with your body so that it knows, like, hey, we're doing this for you. Like, hey, neck, if we work together, you're going to feel better. If we work together towards this. Instead of, comply, I want you to go into this shape, comply with me. It's not, I mean, you'll get there, but it won't be as much fun. All right, let's bring it back to the middle. Whew. Okay. Oh, you can untuck your toes. If you're just sitting like that with your toes tucked under, you're a fucking beast. I've been working on that shit for like 17 years, and I forgot that I left you in that. That is not easy. I'm impressed. And also, sorry / you're welcome to your feet. It is good for them, even though they feel like they're going to fall off right now. All right, sip of water or tea. Cool. Okay, so knees, we're doing hips today. Right on. All right, feet nice and wide. Feet drop over to the right. Right hand comes to the ground close to your hips. Left arm, I'm flipped, guys, so it's all good. It's all coming together. It's gonna sweep up and the hips rise up with an inhale. Hips and chest are rising, and exhale, the hips touch down. Left hand comes to the ground behind you. Knees fall over to the left, and right arm sweeps open as the hips and chest rise. Exhale, hips touch down. Knees come over to the right. Left arm sweeps open. Hips touch down, knees to the left. Inhale, you rise. And the next time we come over to the right, we'll lift and stay lifted. And just give 3 big back strokes to this left arm. Just like checking in with the shoulder, what's clicking, what's cracking, not right or wrong, not good or bad, just kind of noticing. Oof. And then we'll sit it back down, bring it over to the left. Raise hips, raise chest. And 3 big back strokes with the right arm. So one shoulder might be acting different than the other, likely it is. So we're just observing that. No judgment, just observation. Sit it down, knees come to the right, hands come to frame the right knee. Is that better or worse? Better, I think. All right. We're coming into tabletop pose. Hands under shoulders, knees below hips, and an inhale, belly drops, hips and chest rise. Cow pose. Exhaling round in the spine, chin tucks towards chest, cat pose. Inhaling through cow, my hands are pressing down and back, knees are pressing down and forward, like I'm going to scrunch the mat together. For cow pose, getting a deeper arch in the spine. And exhale, rounding. I'm pressing the hands down and forward, knees down and back, like I'm spreading the mat apart for more rounding in the spine. Following the breath, in to rise, and out to round. Just connect to your own breath's pace. So the speed of your body is informed by the length of your breath. We'll bring it back to center, neutral tabletop pose. Okay, and then turn to face you guys, just so you can kind of see what's going on a little bit better. The right knee opens out to the side. And it's a slow motion side kick. Touch the foot down. Yeah, and then we'll bring it up to gate pose. Oh. One of those like little cameras that follows you. It's so creepy, but would also be really helpful. All right, so up to gate pose. So now I'm passing into the pinky side edge of my right foot, left hip over right, left hip over left knee. Arms sweep up overhead, and exhale, we bend over to the right. This right hand crosses in front and grabs onto this outside hip or love handle or whatever you got to grab onto there. You're just grabbing across, keeping the chest open towards the front wall, a little bit tilted up towards the ceiling. And we're just breathing into this whole side body, a lateral bend. Next inhale brings you all the way over like a half cartwheel. We'll press, flex through the foot, and then levitate it up. I'm usually just grabbing onto tummy fat. Yeah, that works too. Whatever you got going on there is great. Yeah, if you're a bony skeletal type creature like I am, you can grab onto your hip bone. If you got tummy fat or whatever, yeah, it works. All right, so from here, I'm using this medial gluteus medius, this outside butt muscle basically, to hold this up. bend in the knee, point the toes. I'm going to grab the top of this foot for a quad stretch. Okay, so say you have this grabbed on. Not feeling a quad stretch, press the hips forward. So I'm tucking the hips forward instead of like a booty pop, Donald Duck butt. I'm pressing the hips forward. I'm tucking them under. Like I'm rounding, almost like I'm rounding my back for cat pose while keeping the heel close to the glute. Full breath here, stretching out this quadricep. And then it's a slow motion release in reverse. Flex through the foot, foot touches down, right hand comes down, walk the hands towards the long end of the mat. So it's just like you're in tabletop, but with this leg extended, and then we're pressing the hips forward and back. Stretching out the inside of the right leg. And finding a space along that trajectory that feels good. We'll hold the stretch there for a deep breath. Back up to center, like tabletop. We'll walk the hands over to the left, coming onto the back toes. And step the left foot up between the hands. So left knee over left ankle. Back heel is centered and pressing back behind you. And we'll come up to a high lunge. Alternately, you can use your hands onto the thigh to bring yourself upright. And pressing the back heel back. The back of the knees pressing up towards the sky. Bring shoulders up over hips. If you're stuck here and you can't get your shoulders over the hips, you can bend in the back knee intentionally to allow for that alignment. That's going to bring more strengthening into the leg, and this is more flexibility into the thigh. One's not better than the other or anything like that. It's just something to notice, and arms sweep up when you get there. And then we're going to do some just back strokes with the shoulders, one at a time. So my legs are strong, pressing into the ground to hold steady and hold this balance. I'm just working on opening up the shoulders, smoothing out this process, and holding the balance. Still, the breathing is full. And the next time, we'll bring both hands up, fingers interlace, they come down behind the head, thumbs release down the sides of the neck, and press the head into the hands, hands press into the head, elbows pull back, opening the chest, giving the shoulders a stretch here, full breath. Releasing hands, they come down to frame that front foot, knee releases down, and then walk the hands back to center. We make it back to tabletop pose. No, yeah, that's good. I'll just move back a little bit. Okay. Now, the left knee rises up to the side. Slow motion side kick. Foot touches down to the ground. We'll bring it up for a gate pose. Right knee over right ankle. No. Right hip over right knee. Pressing into the pinky side edge of the left leg. Left foot. Arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, we bend over to the left. Left arm crosses in front, grabbing onto side body. I'm kind of using that elbow to press into the hip as well, because I just want to keep my body flat, like it's between two panes of glass. So I'm not rounding or even really back bending, I'm just keeping it a lateral side bend. So I'm breathing really deep into these side ribs, the intercostal muscles. The muscles in between the ribs, we're just opening them up, expanding them. You can feel uncomfortable. We just got one more breath here. And it's a half cartwheel down to the ground. Flex through the left foot, and then levitate that leg up. So this is almost like a half Ardha Chandrasana, half balancing, half moon, because we're just down on the knee. So that's the balancing pose we've been worked on a little bit earlier in the week. That's this pose. That was a harder transition than I thought it was going to be. That's this. We're practicing all of those muscles here. Yeah. So bend in that top leg. Grab the foot. Still keep the knee lifted. And bring the foot in, the heel in towards the glutes. The hips are pressing forward for a quad stretch. Chest stays open, hips press forward. And the knee is actively pressing down, or not down, but out, like away from the body and back. Last breath here. And a slow release and return. Opening out, foot touches down, top hand comes down to the ground. Walk it forward, like for tabletop, underneath the shoulders. We press the hips forward and back. Forward and back, opening up this left thigh. Finding a space that feels good for the stretch, and we'll hold it here for a full breath. Bring it back upright. We'll walk the hands to the right, pivoting onto the top of the left toes. And bring the right foot up between the hands. Right knee over right ankle. We'll bring it up to a high lunge. Shoulders come up over the hips. Shoulders over the hips. Leg is straight, heel pressing back. Otherwise, the back knee is bent to help get that alignment of shoulders over hips. Arms come up overhead. Find a drishti, a focal point for your eyes to land. And then here we can actually do the opposite with the arms. And instead of backstroke, it's a front stroke. So we're moving slowly, like moving through honey. Working on building up the balance with a little bit of movement, breathing even with everything else going on. In and out through the nose if that's available. And really going to the full edge of your, range of motion with the shoulders. So I'm trying to stay in the same plane. So what does that mean? So just focus on this left arm. My pinky is facing towards the ceiling. When it can't go back any further, I turn it, thumb up towards the sky to bring it forward. So the hand has to turn at a certain point to stay in this plane of motion. Makes sense? Like two propellers. Or like the arms on a windmill. We'll bring both arms up overhead. Fingers interlace. Change the interlace, so whichever index finger is on top. If it's the right one, bring the left one on top. Hands come behind the head. Thumbs release down the side of the neck. And then press the head into the hands, hands press into the head back, using that leverage to open the elbows out, giving the shoulders a stretch. So why do we change the interlacing the fingers? We're creating new pathways, breaking old habits in the brain. Full breath here. And then releasing the arms, release them all the way back down to the ground. Walk it to center, extending both legs out straight. Bring the heels in alignment with one another, the toes in alignment with one another. Okay. Deep breath in, like a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. So standing wide angle fold. Here you can give the head a shake no. Give the head a nod yes. If your head is hitting the ground, just bring your feet in closer. If your hands don't reach the ground and you'd like them to, bring your feet further. Pressing into the pinky side edge, the feet are parallel to one another, otherwise maybe a little pigeon-toed in. Let the weight, just going to show you from the side. Let the weight come forward towards your toes without lifting the heels. So right to where if you went any further, you lift the heels. That's going to help bring the hips up over the ankles instead of being back here, which can bring strain to your lower back and hamstrings. Back this way so you can see. Just letting yourself hang here, using the breath to be heavy. Upper body, we're using the weight of the upper body to stretch out the backs of the legs here. Might feel good to bring the arms up front like downward facing dog, or even bring the arms through the legs and back. And the hands come beneath the shoulders. And let the right arm sweep open. Let the hips go with it. So I'm letting my right hip pop open to give the inner left thigh a bit of a stretch. Deep breath in here. Exhale through center. Inhale left. I let my left hip pop up. I let my right hip sink down to give that inner thigh a stretch. And exhale center. Following the breath into twist. Out to lower, in twist, out, lower. Once this right arm opens up, you might feel you have a little more space to play. We're still fully breathing here. There's a lifted type feeling in this arm, so the shoulder's not scrunching into the neck or anything like that. And the bottom hand might walk over towards the right foot. It might even grab onto the outside, pinky side edge of the foot or the ankle. If that's so, the chest is going to have to come down a little further to make that reach. And then you can use that grip to really stretch out the left shoulder blade. Wherever you're at, we're just taking 2 deep breaths here. The top hand comes down, walk the other hand back through center, left arm sweeps up, and then scoping it out. And this side might feel a little different. You might feel you do have the space to walk the bottom hand over, maybe all the way over to grab the pinky side edge. So I'm sticking my fingers underneath my foot on the outside pinky side edge, and I'm using the press of the foot into the hand to help stretch out this right scapula, this right shoulder blade. I'm letting my chest be heavy, so my chest is not actively but passively pressing down towards my thighs with gravity. And this top arm is activated. It's being pulled up towards the sky to keep the shoulder out of the neck, out of the ear. We'll release the hand to the mat. Release the right hand to the ground as well. Bring the hips back through center. We'll bring the heel, bend the knees, bend the heels in, toes out. Or pressing it up to goddess pose. So it's like 90 degrees in the hips and the knees are working towards it, and then the hands come down, thumbs face down, right in center. So I'm kind of like just letting the weight of my body go into my hands. My hands press my knees open and trying to get them over the ankles. Drop the right shoulder down, left shoulder lift. Bit of a deeper stretch on the inner right thigh. And change directions. I drop the left shoulder. Nice. Back up through center. Extend the legs straight. We'll bring the feet in. Better. Better. Not quite right. Okay. All right. Hands come onto the hips, and the right knee opens out to the side. So we're pivoting the knee out to the side, light on the toes, foot comes in towards the ankle. So this is a great place to stay. Tall in the spine, and then just notice if you've dropped your right hip down, you want to keep the hips actually in alignment, straight across one another. Maybe the foot comes up to the calf, or you can use your hands to help bring your foot up to the inner thigh. Either way, this knee is pressing down, pressing back. Hips are pressing forward. The press forward of the hips and the press back of the knee is going to be what holds the foot and the leg together. So there's a squeeze in towards center, a squeeze between the foot and the leg, no matter if it's at ankle, calf, or thigh. Vrksasana Tree Pose. So working on shoulder and arm opening here. You might come into a reverse Anjali Mudra, right prayer pose, but behind your back. So what that looks like is you bring your palms together and maybe you flip the hands, working towards getting it between the shoulder blades. So I used to be able to get like super pop my sternum, like my chest plate bone. So just be mindful of your shoulders. Other people feel at different places. And you don't have to twirl around or anything like that. This is a deep stretch in your wrists as well. So you just want to be mindful of all of that. Intensity is good. Sharp pain is not. Yeah? You have to, or you get to, pull the shoulders back and tilt the chest up to make this movement possible without hurting your wrist. If not, there's too much rounding in the spine, and the rounding in the spine is going to press into your hands in the direction that's not going to feel good. And we'll let that go in reverse. Foot floats down. We bring the weight into that leg. The left knee opens out to the side. That foot comes up, maybe to the calf. It can also stay at the ankle level. And you're just working on keeping the toe barely touching, just grazing the ground. Or maybe it comes up to the inner thigh. Either way, it's called, any of those three ways, it's called Vrksasana Tree Pose. Hips are pressing forward, knees opening out. Like a string pulling you up from the crown of your head. You're nice and tall. breathing is full and the eyes are steady and a drishti on a focal point. Maybe the hands work on that. Reverse prayer pose on this side. If you're just working on getting your legs to, getting yourself to stay put in this pose and you feel yourself like falling out again and again and again, focus on the foundation. Don't worry about like fancy hand things or anything like that. Focus on your foundation, your legs. Standing legs, pressing into the ground, leg is strong, no bend in the knee. Balancing leg is pressing into the standing leg for stability as the knee opens out and the hips press forward. We let the little micro movements in the standing foot happen and just trust that the foot knows what to do naturally as our feet keep us standing all day without us even thinking about it. So don't overthink it. The foot knows what to do. Just give it that trust as it builds up the endurance and the muscles and the stability in the foot and ankle to do it alone without the help of your balancing foot. We just got one more breath here. We'll release the leg, release the arms, release the leg all the way down, and just begin to bring a shape to it. So, bringing a shape to the whole body. I just like letting my shoulders rise and drop, rise and drop. You can just lift the heels and let them slam into the ground with bent knees to create this jiggle in the body. If you don't feel like full jumping today, it's all good. But feel free to take up space if you have space to take up. Really, no wrong answers here for lymphatic shaking. We're just moving the body freely, working to release tension that may have built up in that last balancing practice, or really anywhere in class, really anywhere in life that has kind of accumulated. Now is an opportunity to just let that shit go. So much like when dogs are playing and it gets out of control and they kind of start fighting and then they like back away and shake it off. It's like they're resetting, like, oh yeah, we're just playing, my bad. Like that got a little out of control. Like that happens in life all the time. Take things a little too seriously, and then it's hard for us to roll back and get back to a place of play, of exploration, low stakes. Things can suddenly feel really high stakes. How do we reset? This is one way. I think this is the fun way. So, coming into our breath of joy, it's a 4-part breath. It's 3 consecutive inhalations through the nose with no exhale in between, and a big ha, like a yell out, exhale through the mouth, arms sweep back. So it'll look like inhale, arms sweep forward, inhale, arms sweep out, inhale, arms sweep forward, and a big ha, arms throw down and throw back. So, in, ha. All right, somebody throw their lower back out doing this, so I'm just gonna make this really, really obvious. It's arms sweep up, it's not back pops out, so it's not pop. There's no like twerking happening, guys. Long in the low back, just the shoulders. In. Ha! Yeah, we got 10 of those. In. Ha! In. Ha! In. Ha! Ha! 3 to go. If you haven't joined in yet, join in now. Ha! Ha! Last one, make it count. Ha! Ha! Hand comes to the belly, hand comes to the heart, eyes closed. Feet nice and wide for stability. We'll just take a moment here to observe what was created. Perhaps increase body temperature, increase breath rate, but what else? Taking your body like a snow globe and giving it a righteous shake. And now we observe to see where that glitter dust settles. What is revealed? What shows up when we let ourselves take up space and yell? Or what shows up as resistance to stop us from full participation? What are we afraid will happen? Whose judgment are we avoiding? What pain are we avoiding? And choosing to hold on to for a little bit longer. Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. We'll gently blink the eyes open and go ahead, take a sip of water. Maybe towel off some sweat if you built some up. All right, if you're already on the ground, stay there, we'll meet you. And if you're not, you can come down with me. The edge of the mat, oh, here we go. Arms sweep up overhead on an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down to the ground, bending the knees deep, 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 so deep that you come down to seated. And we'll just give the knees a hug in. Today, let's just roll back. I don't feel like doing all the ab workout stuff we usually do. Just want to take it easy. We'll give the lower back a little massage, giving a roll side to side. Let the feet come down to the mat. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh, knees pressing away, foot is flexed. Using just core strength, the left thigh pulls in towards the body, and we'll reach the hands through around the left leg. So right hand through that little triangle donut hole, and left hand around the outside of the leg. The left knee is the left leg is just relaxed. Right foot stays flexed. We'll press the right knee away with the right elbow as the left bicep curls and pulls in the left thigh. So the goal isn't to get the left thigh to touch the belly or anything like that. The goal is to stretch out this right hip. So figure four pose, reclining figure four pose, or some people call this reclining pigeon because it's hitting a similar part of the psoas muscle. It's a little bit different, but this is good. If regular pigeon pose doesn't feel good on your body or messes with your knees, this is going to be a safer version for your knees. Every exhale is an opportunity to let something go. Release some tension from the lower back, the jaw, the shoulders, something that's no longer serving you. And then we'll let go of the hands. The left foot touches down to the ground. Cross the foot all the way over. So just like you're crossing your legs on a chair. And then gently release the knees to the left. Arms open up like the letter T. The right shoulder pressing down towards the ground. So we've let right hip stack over left hip in this bind. And the head comes up through center, knees come up through center. Uncross the legs. Walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. And just drop the knees left and right. Left and right. Back to center, feet walking, hips distance apart. Cross left ankle over right thigh. Foot is flexed. Using just core strength, the right thigh pulls in towards the body. And the hands reach through. Left hand through the little triangle donut hole. Right hand around the outside of the right thigh. Right leg's relaxed. Left elbow pressing into left knee, keeping the knee away. So as the right thigh moves in towards the body, the left knee presses away, and the left foot is flexed. Let the shoulders be relaxed. We're just using bicep strength here to bring the thigh in. And then for those of you with really open hips, Kai, you might be one of them, this elbow press against the knee might not feel like that much of a stretch. You're actually going to bring your foot further to the right so that the fulcrum, like where your left leg is touching your thigh, is closer to your knee. So it's not closer to your knee, but it's farther from the ankle. So the ankle might be there's going to be too much space here. I'll show you from this angle. You might feel too open in the space here, so you're going to move it further in, and that's going to create a different fulcrum, like place where, like, to leverage. That's going to give your hip a deeper stretch, or really a different stretch. Scribo, good morning, my friend. Just in time for just the last movement, really, of class before our Savasana final relaxation pose. We've just got one breath left here. And then releasing that foot to the ground. Give the legs a complete cross like you're sitting in a chair. We'll gently release the knees over to the right. Left arm opens up like the letter T. You can open the other arm as well. The palms are face open to the sky. You might look over the left fingertips. Trying to get the left shoulder to touch the ground. Bring the head back up through center, bring the knees up through center, unhook the legs, feet come nice and wide. We'll let the knees fall side to side, side to side, and then just notice, is there any less movement or wiggle or pose, stretch that your body's asking for? As as we prepare for Savasana, final relaxation pose, it doesn't have to have a fancy yoga name. It doesn't even have to like look like anything in particular. It might just be like some last movement that your body would like to feel rounded out and satisfied by class today. So all class, all day, we tell our body what to do, and now we just ask back, is there anything we can do for it? And that might also include grabbing, putting on socks or a blanket, as your body will probably cool down in this next posture, in this next meditation. So I always like covering up for Savasana. Alright, last breath or so, and then we'll set up for Savasana, final relaxation pose. And what that looks like is legs down the length of the mat, feet at least a foot apart, legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Hands land 6 inches from the body, shoulders tucked under to support the chest, palms face open to the sky, a symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the full benefits of all your effort here today. Head is neutral, looking up towards the sky. And the invitation here is to close the eyes. If that's not comfortable, it's all good. You just want to have a soft gaze towards the sky, not looking at anything in particular. And if this is bringing any tension to your lower back, or you know that this is going to bring pain if you're here for more than a minute, then just bend the knees, feet come mat's distance apart, and allow the knees to knock together. Lift the hips to round the lower back, bringing the lumbar spine, the lower back, to touch the ground, elongating the spine. And just let this broken bridge position, the knees knocked together, be held up by gravity. Traditionally, it's with legs down the length of the mat, but having the knees bent is going to release any pressure in the lower back. Let's not suffer through more than we have to. Suffer through life more than we have to. I'm coming up to seated so that I can lead you through this meditation, but you, please, the invitation is to stay reclining as we use this practice, this Savasana, to integrate all that was worked on. So there are 4 parts to every posture. According to yoga, there's getting into the posture, so entry, sustaining, exit, and integration. So especially in the beginning when we're first learning, it can feel like we're in constant entering. Like the goal is to just get to sustaining. Like I just want to be able to like hold my tree pose for a full breath. I just want to be able to hold my high lunge for 2 breaths, triangle pose, etc. But that's just the first half of the equation. There's also coming out of the pose with grace, equally important as getting into it. And then there's the integration. So Savasana is the embodiment of all that integration. It's like that moment after the pose, you stick the landing and it becomes part of your muscle memory, your collective abilities physically. So we'll start this meditation as we did the last with 3 cleansing breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. The shoulders stay relaxed for this though. Audible sighs encouraged and invited. And allow the breath to continue in and out through the nose at a natural pace. And then bringing the exhalations to become longer and deeper than the inhalations. And every exhale sinks you down heavier to the ground below you, like lead sinking into hot sand. Space between top and bottom teeth. Tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. As all the muscles in the lips and cheeks relax. Nose and nostrils rest, gently allowing air to pass through like waves lapping up to shore. And eyes rest heavy in their sockets, eyelids just barely touching. As the space between the eyebrows broadens, while the forehead muscles relax. Muscles surrounding the ears and into the ears with all their wrinkles and folds down into the ear canals. Rest, passive. Muscles of the back of the head and crown of the head, hairline, all relax. Neck and throat melt away. As do shoulders and shoulder blades melt. Upper arms and elbows relax. Forearms and wrists release. And the palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, fingernail beds. Whole hands alive with vibration. Whole hands alive with creative potential. Rest and integrate all that you practice. Upper back, middle and lower back. Rest heavy, supported by the ground below. Chest gently rises and falls, perhaps imperceptibly. Belly gently rises and falls with the breath. Pelvis, glutes, and hips rest heavy. Thighs and knees melt away. Lower legs and ankles relax. And heels arches, toe ball mounds, tops of the feet, and all of the toes. Relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Feel your whole body heavy, heavy as lead. Solid, dense. And now feel your whole body light, light as a feather, floating, levitating, expansive, boundaryless. And back to heavy. Feel your body heavy, grounded into the earth below you. Strong gravitational pull downwards, dense and heavy. And once more, feel yourself light. Light and expansive, light as a feather, floating, surrounded by air. And you light as that air. Feel heavy, heavy as stone. Feel light, light as a feather. And go back and forth between light and heavy on your own. Now just notice the ability you have to change your relationship to those words, heavy and light, without having to change a physical thing. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more and nothing less. Begin to expand your inhalations and allow them to become longer and deeper than your exhalations. Fingers begin to wiggle and toes begin to curl. Head gently rocks side to side. And arms can reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Let the knees bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural. Landing in a fetal position, you can put your arm, that bottom arm, under your head as a pillow. Fully released and fully supported by the earth below you, bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class today. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed or gently lowered, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center. Today we practiced a series of hip and shoulder stretches with a bit of a focus on balance, keeping balance. So the first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to one another and everyone who held this space. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who joined me today. I hope you found something that serves you. Namaste, Bodhi. Thanks for joining me this morning, you guys. I know Mondays can be there's a lot of energetic meaning attached to Mondays. Namaste, Sawolu. I like that cat. How is class for everyone? How's it feeling in your body? How is it sinking in your mind? I brought in a little yoga nidra into Savasana, or I always do, but a little bit extra today. So just checking in to make sure that felt okay with everyone, with the feeling light and feeling heavy stuff. Just don't want to cross any boundaries or have anyone feel like that was not, I don't know, that was too much, because that can be a little scary if that's not what you're expecting. So yeah, I just wanted to be honor everybody's boundaries and whatnot, and have consent to play around. But I just think it's a really powerful tool, or not even I think, I've experienced it as a really powerful tool in my life. When I know that the thing that is upsetting me is just in my mind. It's my perception of a situation, and I feel I have no control in changing it, because nothing in the physical world needs to be changed. It's just something in my mind that needs to shift. So practicing that light, heavy, hot, cold, well, there's a bunch of them in Yoga Nidra, helps just remind myself okay, I totally have the ability to shift. Thanks, Sam. I feel better than I did this morning. Yay, I'm so glad. Great. I wasn't able to read, I only read the last text that you sent me. I think you sent me 3 consecutive texts, and I just saw the last one, which said, do you just do it Saturdays? And it was just I'm live now. So I didn't even read the ones before, but I'll read them now after stream. I'm glad. My goal is always that people feel better stepping off the mat than they did stepping on. Yeah. But yeah, I'm here every day, same time, same internet space, same place, for, basically this, seated grounding meditation, movement with lymphatic shaking, yoga, functional movement, and all that. Gotta get to work. back to work now. Oh, well, thanks for making space this morning for me. Your practice. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a good work day, and we'll talk soon. Awesome, awesome. Have a good day, Solu. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. So, how was that for you, Bodhi? Because you've been doing a bunch of my Savasanas. Oh my god, look at the kit. Written well. I love kit memes. This playlist is actually called Neko. So it's cute. All right. Oh, it was my day off today since I went on Sunday. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, cool, cool. Cool, cool. I value your opinion and your recommendations and requests. I value all of your recommendations and requests, but Bodhi has a special place in my heart, you guys. All right. Anyway, on that cute note, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm probably gonna go. Who's on right now? I don't think I'm gonna raid, but I might jump onto the Great Kind stream to say hi to her. I haven't said hi to her, and she's doing some cool breath retention stuff. So really expanding lung capacity work. I mean, I don't know. Should we raid her? Nah, we'll just jump over. I don't want to put any pressure on anybody. It looks like Kai's driving again. Solu's off to work. Yeah, I'm not gonna put pressure on anybody. All right, so much love from me to you guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning, or my morning. See you tomorrow in general. And yeah, be well, stay hydrated, don't breathe on strangers.